As a man, you don't want to be creepy. Nobody wants to be creepy. Nice guys especially do not want to be creepy. However, here's the thing. Creepiness is unwanted sexual energy. For you to get with a woman and for her to actively want you, there needs to be a sexual vibe. So this is Kieran from GameGlobal.com and I'm here being filmed in the Netherlands by my friend Sarah. So say hello, Sarah.
Hey.
Hey. All right, so this video is kind of a bit of a controversial one because it's effectively this. Nice guys make women turned on by other men. Now, what the hell does that mean? It basically means this. You as a man, you probably feel like, oh, you're supposed to be a nice man. But what is a nice man? A nice man is being very agreeable, having no spine and no backbone, capitulating to whatever the hell she wants, and also treating her like she's a demure, sexless, virginal flower who you need to shield from any sort of carnal energy. That is bad, that is wrong, that is terrible, and here's why. But number one, if you are going to downplay who you are in favor of the woman. So let's say you're out with her and she does something that you don't like, you don't appreciate. She is rude to the waitress or she disrespects you in some way. The nice guy mentality is to just roll with it, to go with it because you don't want to rock the boat. But here is the thing. If you are going with it and you're rolling with it and you are afraid to rock the boat, you are basically not being masculine. You're not being confident. You're not being a man who's on your own path. That is something that women are attracted to. They're like a man who knows who he is and it's, I am me. This is who I am doing this. This is the energy that you're getting. If you are bending who you are for other people, especially her, she is not gonna like that at all. Number two, let's take sexual energy. As a man, you don't want to be creepy. Nobody wants to be creepy. Nice guys especially do not want to be creepy. However, here's the thing. Creepiness is unwanted sexual energy. For you to get with a woman and for her to actively want you, there needs to be a sexual vibe. It needs to be there. There needs to be an energy that says, I'm a man, you're a woman, and things can happen. Nice guys do is they suppress that. Why do they suppress that? Because again, they don't want to be creepy. And another reason is because they believe that the women with whom they're communicating don't want that at all. Because they're so innocent and they're so dainty that if you express this part of yourself, she is going to faint. She's going to have a heart attack. So then you take all of that and you compress it in and you're just nice. And she has a good time with you, but she does not feel that spark. Now, let's say maybe you're in a relationship with her. What does this actually mean? It means, well, you know, the kind of stuff that you've seen on certain sorts of websites that you really do like and want to do. You can't do that with her because she's a good, clean, virginal woman. You can't speak to her a certain way. You can't engage in certain sorts of nocturnal activities because she's a good, clean, virginal woman. So then what do? You suppress all of that, but then this bores the hell out of her because she doesn't feel that tantalizing spark. If you don't think women actually want that tantalizing spark, then ask yourself this. Why is erotic fiction such a massive genre of books? Why? All read by women, all of it. And to be honest, a lot of these women are doing some naughty stuff while reading these books. Why? Because these books are very powerful. Now, here's the thing. What do you actually see in erotic fiction? You see something, by the way, this is what I do. I take my glasses on and that's what I do. Here's what you will see in erotic fiction. You will see a woman who meets a man, and this man is very powerful. In fact, this man actually scares her to a degree. Sometimes physically, not necessarily. Maybe he just has control over her career. They don't really like each other, but the man's got power. And there's an animalistic kind of energy that emanates from this woman. There is an unmistakable feeling of attraction between that man and that woman that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until it just hits in a massive explosion of carnal activity. You are being a nice guy. You are robbing the women who you are with or trying to date of the ability to experience that kind of thing with you. Effectively, it's kind of like this. You got to be your own person. You got to be you and you have to be prepared to lead as well. You got to be prepared to lead. Let's do this. Let's go over here. Let's do that. I do not actually like this. You need to have your own purpose and things that you're doing in your life that make you happy. Who are you? You got to know who you are, because here's the thing. The nice guy does not know who he is. He doesn't. The nice guy is saying, well, I think the world wants me to be like this. Therefore, I'm going to be like this because I want the world to be happy. And you know what? When you do that, the world actually is happy. But it's not actually very attractive. It's something you gotta realize. Jordan Peterson once said, a man is meant to be dangerous. He said there's no virtue in being harmless. The virtue comes in being dangerous, but having your danger under control. You've got the beast, but you control the beast. The beast works for you. Why is that important? Well, let's say it is. You've got two sets of men and women. One woman is walking with a harmless man. One woman is walking with a dangerous man. Both of them are attacked. Which man does a woman want to be with when that happens? She wants to be with the man who is dangerous. The man who can actually impose his will on the world. Not in a bad way, but just to actually protect. The man who can actually get things done. When you are a nice guy, what you are saying is, do not worry. I am harmless. I am like your neutered gay best friend. I will paint thy toenails. We will go shopping. I will shield you from certain sorts of conversation. There are parts of me that, let's say, are raw and animalistic, powerful, dominant, erotic. I will shield you from those. In fact, I will make sure that you don't even realize that these parts of me exist. Do not worry. I'm very soft. I'm neutered. I'm totally safe. And women will feel completely safe with that man, but they're not going to feel particularly aroused. Now, as I have a woman filming me, question I'd like to ask to you, Miss Sarah, is what do you think about what I just said?
I don't share that mindset.
You don't?
No.
Really?
No.
Talk to me.
Not at all.
Not at all. What can I explain?
I think when you get older, it is the nice guy you're looking for.
Yeah, but you see, here's it.
Always that the nice guy is boring. You can be still a nice guy and be very attractive. It's too general.
What is making the nice guy attractive? Because here's the thing. You just said as you get older, you want the nice guy.
Obviously, of course he needs to lead, but it doesn't mean that someone is nice that he can't lead. You say you have to be the bad guy to lead.
That's not what I'm saying.
Sounded
No. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm actually saying is be a nice guy, but actually lead. I'm saying the same thing that you're saying.
But I would never choose the gangster to the angel.
No. But that is because you're getting older and you've realized that there's a downside to certain sorts of men. So let me clarify this. It's good that we have. Nice guy, bad boy. You went for bad boys when you were younger, yeah?
For fun. That's it.
Exactly.
More than that.
But here's the thing. Those bad boys, while you were going for the bad boys, nice guys were being completely ignored. You weren't going for the nice guys for fun because
The mistake what we did.
but that's what all women do. And the point is, what men need to learn to do is to embody, be a good guy, of course. Treat people well, of course. But the bad boy had an energy which you found inherently attractive. And it's the stuff that we're speaking about here.
And it just damaged women. It's just damaging. That's it.
But what I am trying to say is a nice guy can be nice, but still have that energy. You can be a good man who treats people well and doesn't harm people at all, but at the same time has an attractive energy about you. You don't have to be one or the other. And this is kind of the point. So the fun stuff that you were doing with bad boys, you can do that fun stuff with a good man.
Of course.
You can.
I'm saying.
But we're saying the same thing.
But I can do that, obviously, because you don't have to be a bad boy for that. You just have to communicate.
There's loads of men watching this video right now who are basically the nice guys that you ignored for years until you realized that actually the bad boy wasn't working for you. And there are reasons why you ignored the nice guy and went with the bad boy. Everything I'm doing here is about helping this nice guy to not spend 10 to 15, maybe 20 years being ignored, sexually rejected, lonely, isolated.
Yeah, because the way they look, it's because we are damaged, and that's why we go for the bad boys, because we think that's what we deserve. So if you heal, and if you would do that first, then nobody has to change. You could just take then the people how they are. I think it's more a healing thing for a woman.
I understand that. But that's not what I've seen in my experience. It isn't. Don't get me wrong, there's a degree of truth to what you're saying in the sense of you feel like maybe the bad boy treated you in a certain way and you didn't really deserve to be treated well. But what I'm trying to say is not just about that. When you are around these bad boys, it's not just that it's like, this guy's gonna treat me like shit and subconsciously I want to be treated like shit.
No, you don't do that on purpose.
No, that's what I'm saying, subconsciously.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not just that. There's also the fact that he's inherently, there's an attraction that you got from him. And it's not just down to that. He was funnier, he was wittier, it was exciting in the way that the nice guys were. And that you're with the nice guy and it's nice. Yeah, this is nice. But he didn't captivate you the way the bad boys did. And you know he didn't. But the point about this is, it's not for a nice guy to be a bad boy. It's not that. But be a good person. For instance, I'm in a relationship now. I treat my woman extremely well. And in fact, something that I always say is, you have to leave a woman better than you found her, which means that at all times when you're dealing with a woman, your goal is for when it ends, if it does, she looks back on her time with you and she goes, I'm glad I met this guy. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a bad boy. And it doesn't mean you have to throw away your nice guy side. Be a good human being, but don't be a pushover. Be a good human being, but have some fun and excitement. Be a good human being and have your own purpose. Is that something we can agree on?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're done.